First card is Seven of Wands in reverse. So this tells me at some point you were defensive, possibly a teacher with the world over here, but you're not anymore. So either you're not defensive or you no longer have the advantage in something, and your past efforts aren't making you feel successful. Thus, you're here for this reading. I like to give happy readings, okay? So if I see one, I will definitely tell you about it. But most of the time, people aren't here for happiness. They're here for knowledge, and they end up getting happy from the knowledge they get. But here, you're struggling, you're battling. For some it's money, for some it's a relationship, for some it's a career. But here, ta-da! We're not struggling anymore. We've given up our spot as King of the Hill. Maybe we saw that King of the Hill wasn't really what we wanted to be anyway. Here, this is having not decided on an action yet. But here, yep, you've decided. And it's probably to leave your spot, no longer be assertive. Or you could just be feeling weak and not wanting to be a part of a competition. Some people just like to leave the rat races, so to speak. So if you've been like a celebrity of some sort, you may decide to step out of the limelight. If you're a really big person at your job, you may decide to step down. But this says you can be your own worst enemy as far as not being assertive. If you hesitate, you might regret it, and you need to confront something head on. You could also just be scared of success, scared of failure. Those can be, it's just that idea, like, oh, it's either I fail or I succeed. That's a scary thought. You have to take that step, especially when you see this card. You might think it's a losing battle because, you are your own worst enemy. I see some low self-esteem, okay? And also, when this card's upright, I see, you get your desire, and then you realize, oh, I didn't really want it the way I thought I did. Faced with the reality. And we did have the moon, which is illusions, okay? So hopefully that's not the case since it's in reverse. Or it could just be that you have that to the extreme. Like you got it, what you wanted, and you didn't want it. And that's like a really big thing for you. But you're just kind of giving up. Maybe a little overwhelmed. Too protective of yourself. And so you are hesitating. You don't want to be hurt. And you could be a little embarrassed. See, this is not wanting to be hurt. So maybe, even though you're embarrassed, you're going to drop your defenses and be vulnerable, which is good news. But that could be a reason why you're here at this reading. Like, okay, I'm vulnerable now. Over here at the moon, I'm vulnerable. Help me out. Just pure terror and fear and paranoia. Okay, clarifying the Seven of Wands, we have the Five of Wands. I'm just going to let you know that comes up twice in your reading. Here it's upright. Later on in the fourth week, it's reversed. All right, so Five of Wands. Being upright, there's a competition again. So we do giving up a competition and then having a competition. But we have two competition cards next to each other. This one you feel like everybody's against you, but not anymore. Could be like a team spirit. And here, it's like play fighting, like a competition or a sport. Also struggling for riches for some of you. Getting new desires. You no longer doubt yourself. You just have a new desire to do something different. And it's not an irrational decision. You really thought about it. You could be having creative conflicts. Yeah, for those of you in the creative field, you may have this creative block, so to speak. It's nothing serious, like a real out, if there was this Five of Swords fighting type of thing. It's just a creative block and it's stressing you out a little bit. And you want it to be unblocked. Like here, oh, I need to get out of here. Here, things are okay. So you want to get out of this creative block. You want to be in a competition of some sort, or you just happen to be in one. And it could be that's you leaving a competition because you want to stand out. You don't want to have to compete with anybody. You want people to see you and just know, yeah, that's the one. That's the it factor we're looking for. Oh gosh, I just sounded like the X factor. I apologize. But I do see a little bit of that in here as far as the creative route, like somebody wanted to be a star and having an audience and performing. I do see that. So some of you may have been on a reality TV show. I mean, I don't know if there's a card for reality TV, but if it were, it'd probably be in here somewhere. If there is one, let me know, because I haven't heard about that. I don't really delve too much into reality TV. Sorry, I'm going to take this thingy off. You probably see me wear these Band-Aids and stuff. It's because when I shuffle and hold the cards, it's just my thumbs, my skin gets real sore. I don't know if you guys have to deal with that at all or not, but I may just be a baby or something. I am. I'm a big baby. I'm a Cancer, so. All right, so 5 of Wands upright. It's really funny because this card is ruled by Saturn, which is responsibilities, duties, obligations, as well as success. Okay. But Saturn is ruled by the world. Ooh. Okay. So somebody really may be stepping out of the spotlight. And again, they could be stepping out from teaching. Like there's just too much stress and attack in the field of education. And I actually can see that because I am a teacher and I realize it's very hard on the teachers, working so many hours and not being appreciated and not getting everything that you had once thought might happen as a teacher, not getting to see all the inspiration you thought you would, or just not being appropriately compensated, feeling like maybe people are against you. There's all kinds of things out there, whether it's on a reality TV show, being a teacher, being a writer. There's a lot of creativity in here because we have 1, 2, 3, 4 Wands card. Oh no, 5, because we did have that Ace of Wands over here in reverse, which talks about releasing a long-held dream. So some of you may have decided to leave because you got a little bit too much criticism from someone who didn't know you very well. And you had to let go of a long-held dream. And with that other card that popped out, getting to know you in reverse, or getting to know each other, the person who gave you too much criticism, probably because they didn't know you. Okay? But then again, I wouldn't want to feed an idea if somebody's criticism was true. For instance, I think of that show Family Guy with Stewie. And he loses like American Idol or something. He doesn't make his audition. And he's like, I'm gonna be back. You're gonna see my name in lights. That I'll see a little bit of that in here, okay? Not to be cruel or anything, okay? Okay, so we have 2 Wands cards. Let me think about that a little bit more. Yeah, I mean, just with 7 of Wands in general, it talks about fight and competition. And possibly just not being patient about what's going on with this competition. You just on out leave. And you're trying to have your individuality. That's probably why you leave. You want to outdo your rivals. You want to outdo yourself. This also talks about every little thing is getting on your nerves. As a teacher, I sometimes read this story. My very first year of teaching, I read this book called Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day. I don't know if any of you remember that. Where, he wakes up and he realized he had gum in his hair. And then he gets out of bed and he steps on a toy truck or something and it hurts his foot. And then, he goes to brush his teeth and something else happens. So I see that with the 5 of Wands. Like, you are Alexander in the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day. I think a movie about that came out recently. Okay. Anyway. There could be some minor setbacks. But everybody who is working possibly as a team or, trying to work as a team, but it's just not happening. Everybody's purposes aren't meshing. They're not being integrated. And so there's no serious work getting done. This project just isn't happening. It's not getting off the ground. And so also, it could just be working so hard on something and it's not showing any kind of fruitfulness. You're more worried about not making a mark. You want to recover from this rat race. You want to make a mark and stand out from others. But you enjoy your playtime. You think it's valuable. And you want to incorporate your fun hobbies into your overall success, possibly as a career. And that's your new desire. And I see that with the star card in the next week and with the moon and wands. I see wanting to take something creative and fun that you like to do and make it into a career. So you stand out and you become a star. Maybe a star in your field. Either way, a star is just somebody who stands out. Possibly an entertainer, especially with the Page of Pentacles. I'm surprised we didn't get the Page of Cups, but that's okay. That's your new desire. And you may struggle to gain, but you don't mind as long as it's something that you want. For some of you in love, I talked a lot about, careers, but you may just, in love, you may just want to stand out from the other people. For singles, you think the market is too competitive right now and you don't have what it takes. You don't stand out like a star. For couples, you could just be having lots of fights and you're thinking about leaving because it's just a lot. You think, I need to just stand out, go out on my own. Okay. It'd be less stressful because they're just irritating the fuck out of me. And singles, you could just be irritated because you're like, oh, every date I go on, it's just terrible. So instead of being incidental, it's just like a few dates and then it's just nothing happens. So then it can feel incidental, like they didn't even matter. Then we have the Wheel of Fortune in your third week and the Five of Wands. Remember, Five of Wands is very important to your whole reading because you got it twice. And also, just so you know, fives, the number 5, since we have it twice, means impermanence. Something's temporary, okay? Let me turn that Wheel of Fortune back over because it was upright and we like that. Standing out again, okay? So in that third week of March, you may get the opportunity to stand out with some accidental good fortune, good luck, whatever. Maybe not even accidental, maybe it's on purpose because you set out on your own. And with the moon card over here and these, I see that you are going to explore your creative individuality. So that might mean you leave a relationship. Not necessarily. I see this mostly as a career in the creative arts. Then again, it could also be that talent, like an X Factor type of talent, or just some kind of a new business where you're an entrepreneur. Okay, and then the Page of Pentacles clarifies it, and they're next to each other, so I really like that. I mean, you are really focused on getting the money, but also being a performer, standing out from the crowd. And you're going to reinvent yourself in the second week of March, okay, because you want to stand out. You don't want to be like everybody else. If you've recently left a partnership that was really passionate or maybe a little too fiery in regards to tempers, you leave and then you have to reinvent yourself because you lost your identity in the process. And with the Three of Swords, the relationship could have ended previously, okay, due to some miscommunications. And you're just all about recovering, trying to heal yourself. But I see that perhaps somebody's criticism hurt your feelings. Or just something happened in your relationship or in the creative field where you didn't stand out from the crowd. Okay, somebody may not have chosen you in the dating world or just in a creative outlet, and it hurt your feelings. and you haven't really recovered from it yet. You're trying to. And you're not cutting to the issue to resolve it. You're just masking on the outside, but on the inside, you're a mess. And again, 3 of Swords is ruled by Saturn, which is responsibilities, obligation, and success. And it's ruled by Saturn when with the world in Libra. Okay, so that's like we have 2 world cards. And they're in Libra. So that is the only way that you have actually come through so far in your sign. I mean, we have an Aquarius, but I don't see Libra in here. Unless I've forgotten what Libra is. And in Pisces, Aquarius. Surely the 3 of Swords is not your card. I would be very sad about that. Libra. Is it Justice? Was that you guys? I'm trying to remember. It was Justice. Okay. Sorry, I had a blank mind for a moment. And we do not have Justice in here. So we don't have your card. But there's just some kind of deep emotional pain. Possibly a past abusive relationship. And then obviously just, you want to stand out really badly. So this could be neglect. You felt like you were neglected. You were overlooked. You weren't seen. Also, this is bad communication, never healed, blocked grief. And you might reject someone or reject an opportunity just to prevent being rejected yourself because you haven't dealt with it. So if you've left something because somebody criticized you or there were ideas that weren't integrated, then it could be just those hurt feelings you're rejecting before you get rejected. All right, next we have the Star card in the second week of March. With the Star card, I see wanting to stand out, wanting to be a star, getting recognition, as well as wanting to heal or having healed or being in the process of recovery. And this is the only cup kind of card that we have, okay? So there's not a whole lot of emotion here. It's mostly creativity and passion and a little bit of money. Oh, well, I guess we do have the moon. It's a little bit. And the moon and the star in the same radiant. I like it. Talk about creating your fun hobbies into your world, into your success. And with the moon, I just talked about that. It's talking about you're going to get valuable insight. Okay, so you left a group, you wanted to stand out, then you get valuable insight. And it's going to be helpful for you and whoever's with you. If you leave and create your own team, or if you took somebody with you, it could be helpful for those in your relationship. And then remember, right after that star, that brilliant idea, that inspiration, bam, you reinvent yourself. Okay. The third week, we have the King of Wands in reverse. So this tells me being scared to take that entrepreneurial step. Because here he's like, has his hand on his thigh, and he's like, I'm about to get up and go with this idea. And then it's in reverse. So it could be you're going to do that, but you're just kind of blocked right now because there hasn't been a healing yet. I see you could have been, or you could be, with someone who's good. They're just a little severe, but they're still tolerant. They're just a little severe in what they do. Could be a lack of passion. That could be you don't feel motivated to do something, so you're not doing it. You could be seeking freedom. Yeah, okay, so some of you, you're actually lacking ambition. The others of you are seeking freedom, and you have a lot of ambition, a lot of drive, and nothing's going to stand in your way. And this drive is really attractive about you. It's something that's attractive about you. Could be seen a little bit as arrogance, but it's mostly just being severe but you still have those good qualities and still tolerant. So, you know, we can put up with you. Your ego is a little bit in check, okay? If this is representative of a person that you're interested in, then it talks about they are not settling down and give up hopes of true love and devotion. Okay. I do want to bring up, while I was shuffling, 2 cards kind of stuck out a little bit, but didn't seem very significant. But I did look just in case. We had the Knight of Wands upright, which again reminds me a little bit of the King of Wands. But he's very flighty. He also moves, like travels overseas. And I can see that with the World.